Hello and welcome again. This time we're going to talk about the pros and cons of using the dummy, or some call it the pacifier. Okay, so the dummy does have good points about it and also not so good points about it as well. Right, okay, so as a health visitor, I would normally advise not to give the babies dummy. If you can avoid it at all, don't give them the dummies. But if you have to, don't leave the baby with the dummy in his mouth for long periods of time, because that obviously babies are quite happily going to suck for minutes and sometimes even hours on the dummies if you let them. Okay, so it's okay maybe for a very, very short while whilst you get baby's feed ready. Maybe you're mixing the bottle or you're getting yourself ready to breastfeed. You can give them the dummy for a very short while, but not to leave the baby happily sucking on this for hours, because what that would do is obviously, first of all, try and keep up to speed with your baby's feeding cues. I don't know if you remember one of the videos I did earlier, I showed you the feeding cues of a baby. Obviously, try and catch baby at this earlier stage where baby's doing all the mouthing, turning off the heads and getting ready to tell you they're hungry, okay? So unfortunately, due to reasons and that cannot be helped, some mothers tend to miss these two stages and obviously get to the point where baby's really frantic, baby can't feed, and they would inevitably give the dummy to baby to calm baby down whilst they get the feed ready. Okay, but don't leave the dummy in the baby's mouth for too long, because what that does is that can easily, baby can happily suck on this dummy and not cry at all for feed, and that can mask all these feeding cues. You know, if the baby has the dummy in the mouth from the period you last fed, between feeds, baby's not going to call for food. Baby's just going to happily suck on this and soothe itself. So what that would mean is that baby can now be introducing a lot of wind into the guts, and that can lead to colic, where there's trapped wind in the baby's tummy and baby gets all squirmy, uncomfortable, can go red in the face because too much air has been taken in while sucking on the dummy. So we don't advise babies to have this for longer periods of time, because obviously baby is just happily going to suck on this, and that can mask the feeding cues. And if at all the baby's feeding cues are masked because it's happily sucking on this, that can eventually have an impact on baby's growth and development, especially the weight gain. So it's always good to keep an eye on your baby's weight regularly. Speak to your health visitor, find out how often you can weigh the baby, and just keep an eye on the weight. But yes, try, and if you have to use it, use the dummy for very short periods of time whilst you get baby's feed ready, or whilst you calm baby down before feeding baby. But be mindful that this dummy can inevitably mask the feeding cue. Baby wouldn't show you any feeding cues at all. Baby would just happily suck on the dummy. I hope you found this useful, and if you like the video, please share and share with your colleagues and your network. Thank you.